Hello everyone, welcome to the Conduits. We're going to do a divine masculine reading today, and here, let me get this going before we start. I like to have that going, kind of a cleansing while we do the reading. Oh, these cards are so stiff. You have to have man hands for this. And I actually have pretty strong girl hands. We used to joke that I had man hands when I was young. Because they're stronger, bigger than normal girl hands. Yes, many, many men have come to me and asked me to open jars for them. Believe it or not, it's actually true. I do have strong hands, but these cards are unbelievably stiff. It's the only thing I don't like about this deck, which I actually really love this deck a lot. This is my Tarot of Opposition deck, but it is a difficult one to shuffle. It's just thick, stiff. But I hope you guys are doing well and having a wonderful week, that you're not feeling too down in the dumps about anything. Hopefully things are going well with you and your divine masculine, and that you're not feeling too much stress. For those of you that are, I promise it's going to get better over time. It will not always be like the dark night of the soul is. For those of you that are in the dark night of the soul, my goodness, I am sorry to hear that, because I know how difficult it is and how stressful and upsetting the whole situation can be, and how awful and how long the obsessive thinking can last. Anybody who hasn't gone through a twin flame experience will never, ever, ever, ever understand what the obsessive thinking is like. It is like nothing. It's like MK Ultra mind control, right? That's what it feels like. It feels like somebody has taken over your brain. There's some kind of, parasite or virus that has taken over your brain, and your thinking is no longer under your control. It's just constantly wired to obsess over every little thing that your divine masculine is doing or not doing, or saying or not saying. It doesn't even matter what they do, honestly. Your brain is going to obsess over it, and it's going to be torturous for you as you have to just sit there and witness it. It's like being like in an insane asylum in a straitjacket and not being able to stop like what's happening around you, not having any control. You, the soul, are you're just stuck there having to witness what's going on in the brain. And it's all like negative stuff. It's all fear-based, overwhelming, gripping energy that all seems to be spilling out of you at once. And what I just described is only a fraction of it, right? It's only a fraction of it. It is insane what you go through in Dark Night of the Soul. That's why it's been talked about for thousands of years, the Dark Night of the Soul. It seems like it's some new agey thing, but it's not. Dark Night of the Soul has been around for thousands of years. I mean, really, since the dawn of time, right? But for humans, but it's been talked about and written about for a very long time, and it is what you're going through when you meet your twin flame and go past that bubble love phase. You go from extreme love to extreme fear. That's what happens in the twin flame relationship: extreme love and then extreme fear. And there is a reason for that. There really is a reason for it. You guys will have to watch some of our videos, and we can kind of explain why. Your numerology number for today is 4 and 2, 24, 42, or 6. So you've got a couple different combinations there that might mean something to you. Oh, my light is messed up. No wonder it is. Like, why can't I see these cards right now? I think my kids might have come in here and messed around with my lighting. There. That's better. Now you guys can see, right? Okay, sorry about that. All right, so at the bottom of the deck, we have Ace of Pentacles in reverse today. So this is the overall for the reading. And with Ace of Pentacles in reverse, there is a greediness, there are financial issues, there's a whole bunch of stress going on, mostly centered around money, which might be an underlying motivating factor for why your divine masculine is behaving in some of the ways that they are. That is kind of a core issue in a lot of people's lives right now, especially with the economy the way that it is. Your divine masculine may be suffering quite a bit from some financial issues. In recent past, we have Hanged Man. And with the Hanged Man, there's, some things that are going on right now that, well, in recent past, not right now, I don't want to confuse you guys. At this point in time, there's some things that your divine masculine is going through that is giving them a different perspective. Something's happened and triggered some type of like a shift in their reality, probably most likely you, divine feminine. But sometimes these things can start to take place for both twin flames prior to even meeting. So it could be something that were like the dominoes of the awakening kind of started to happen before the two of you even met. For me, it's most certainly happened several years before I even met my twin flame. I started seeing synchronistic numbers and things like that, which I knew nothing about at the time. I was just kind of like tripping out on why I kept seeing 1111 for several years. Later on down the road in my twin flame journey, even, a few years after meeting my twin flame, I started to understand more and more why it happened around the period of time specifically that it started to happen. But that can happen. And so there's something going on with your divine masculine, either prior to meeting you or because of meeting you, that has created a great shift in their life, at least in an internal and an emotional way. Maybe their mindset changed. It could be something energetic. Either way, it started some momentum in a different direction that immediately started making changes in their outer world, relationships, jobs, where they live, that kind of a thing. So in the karmic situation that they've been dealing with, we have 7 of Wands in reverse and 3 of Cups. So your divine masculine has had some weak boundaries. Sometimes boundaries can be for other people, that we don't set them for other people, so we allow them to treat us a certain way. But really, boundaries in many ways are mostly for ourselves. What we will and won't allow ourselves to do and things like that. We have to have boundaries for ourselves as well as boundaries for others. But even in a sense, boundaries for others are still boundaries for ourselves because we're the one who has to enforce the boundary, right? And so if we say, well, I'm not going to let you yell at me, but if someone continues to keep yelling at us and we don't do anything like walk away or break up with them or, move on, if there's no consequence, they're just going to continue to keep doing it. And so we're not really enforcing our own boundaries. So ultimately, whether we're setting them because of other people or for other people, or for ourselves as to what we will and won't allow ourselves to do. Like say it's drug abuse, we have to set boundaries for ourselves. We're not going to do these types of drugs or be in these kinds of situations or be around these types of influences, and so that we don't get involved in those types of things. So boundaries can be for both external and internal issues. But either way, there's still boundaries for us. because we're the ones that have to enforce them. And your divine masculine apparently has an issue in that department. There's probably, like, the fact that these two cards are together, the boundaries that they have a hard time setting are probably with friends, family, and in relationships, kind of across the whole board. It could even be children. You know, maybe they've got some children that are just kind of ruling the roost. You know, they are a little too soft on them, and it's creating issues. This is something that can be extraordinarily stressful when we do not have proper boundaries for ourselves and for others. It can make a lot of stress in our life, in so many different areas. Like, the tentacles of that problem in our lives, though, it can go very deep and it can go very far out. It's far reaching. So your divine masculine has a lot of stress, and the longer that it stays that way, the more they'll feel like they're underneath it, the more they have to dig their way out of. And that can create depression and a lack of motivation. And you might be seeing some of that. You know, some of this is probably part of where this financial stuff is coming from, because of poor boundaries, not being able to stop their own impulsive needs, you know, and or desires, or maybe that of family members or someone that they're in a relationship with. Toward you, we have 3 of Swords in reverse and also 6 of Cups in reverse. So there's some confusion going on between you and your divine masculine at this point. Certain types of, you know, delays and, you know, issues with what you would like to do, what they would like to do. There's some conflict there, and maybe some hurt feelings that the two of you have been dealing with as a result of not communicating very well, or having different core desires in a certain way, which can create conflict. And that conflict can sometimes make things feel like there's like a divide. And both of you are feeling it. It's something that has had a really profound effect on the two of you. There's a lot of triggering happening at this point. So you guys, at this stage, what the cards are representing is probably right around the time that your divine masculine may have started to pull away, and they might have started not being totally straightforward or honest. They may have been very aloof all of a sudden, and, you know, they could have gone as far as just blocking you without any explanation at all, leaving you in a place of like, what in the heck just happened, and no answers, which can really send you into a tailspin because you don't know why. And when we don't know why and we're left to our own assumptions, a lot of times the worst, you know, we can be assuming the worst, and that can trigger us into the dark night of the soul. So most likely that's kind of what happened, and that was the start of how things started to seem like they were declining between the two of you. Now, we all know, if you guys go and listen to my video from yesterday, there is a reason why everything starts to decline, or seemingly decline and fall apart in the twin flame relationship. There is a higher spiritual purpose for it. And I talk about that in the video. So if you guys are interested, go and check that out. But there's a divine plan in it, okay? So divine feminine, I would say, wherever you're at, as far as, you know, how long ago this took place for you, have faith and trust that Source is doing all of this for a reason, okay? So presently, now if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe. It really means a lot, and it goes a long way in helping us to support this channel and keep it going for you guys. So please just, you know, smack that little like button for me. It'll make me feel good. I appreciate it a lot. I really do. So the Four of Wands in reverse, this is kind of where you and your divine masculine are at right now. There are some massive changes happening as far as both of you in your external realities. This happens again for a reason, because what was has to kind of fall away in order for something new to be built, right? Sometimes, before that can happen, it can seem like a period of like destruction where everything is just falling apart. It's kind of like you're in this renewal process, and sometimes that when something changes or ends, it's a new beginning or a door opening somewhere else. It's like that. But that can feel very scary and alarming for a lot of people, because they can't see far enough around the corner to know that everything's going to be okay. And so both you and your divine masculine have experienced a lot of fear-based energy and are still experiencing a lot of fear-based energy right now in the karmic situation for your divine masculine. I'm not sure if they're in a relationship or not, or if this could be something, again, with family. They could be divorced already, but they're dealing with a crazy ex or difficult child situation. But they could be in the middle of a marriage. They could be, in the middle of a relationship. It also, sometimes, you guys, it can be that someone that was near and dear to them has died, and they're not beyond the pain of that. There's a lot of different ways that this can surface. It's not just, romantic issues with a third party that can create separation for twin flames. Sometimes it can be, where they live, and obligations that they have to other people in their lives. There's just a lot of stuff. Sometimes it can just be personal trauma that they need to get past and move beyond, because they're not even able to go into a healthy relationship because they haven't dealt with those inner shadows. So for your divine masculine, we have King of Swords and Five of Cups. Both of these are in the upright. So in the karmic situation right now, we've got a divine masculine who has some natural leadership qualities. If they can learn to set proper boundaries, they can strengthen this ability to be able to lead. But a leader needs to be able to set proper boundaries in order to be able to lead. And they're starting to feel like, okay, I have certain abilities that I need to really look at, and they're looking at certain parts of their life and feeling a little bit remorseful or regretful toward how they've handled it or what they've allowed to have happen in their life. Maybe they feel that they should have done more here or there, or they didn't try hard enough. So there's some regret there. Again, these things can manifest in so many ways. It could be that they regret the way that they treated someone in the past, or they regret not leaving someone that didn't treat them well in the past, or they're feeling like, I should have been out of this situation a long time ago, yet I'm still here. Why am I still here? Some of this too could be ways that they've kind of dealt with this whole situation with you and, a third party, that they feel like they've kind of hurt them, or that they've hurt you as a result of meeting you in the timing that they've met you. So there is regret, remorse about some of the ways that your divine masculine has handled things. They are feeling it, but it's a good thing, because they're really like hyper analyzing it and realizing that it's time to take action. It's time to set those boundaries. No more of this over here. It's time for that great shift to take place. Things have been falling apart. That's oftentimes where growth takes off. And I'm seeing that right here. Toward you, we have Nine of Wands and the Sun in reverse. So this is good, actually. Your divine masculine is keeping and maintaining boundaries for themselves. And I think what I'm seeing here is the reason why they're starting to shift the way that they are is because of you learning boundaries for yourself. And so this happens on an energetic level with twin flames when one twin shifts, specifically, especially you, divine feminine, when you kind of shift the energy within yourself and balance some of that stuff out, you'll see changes in your divine masculine on an external level. But some of it also is that they're kind of watching you from a distance. They're looking at you and going, how does this person handle this? And how does this person handle that? Maybe you're somebody who has a stronger sense of boundaries. Or maybe you didn't, but now you're shifting and you're saying no, even to your divine masculine. You're like, I'm not going to let you treat me that way. I'm not going to act like that. I'm not going to continue to chase you anymore. And maybe you're setting boundaries for yourself. Like, I'm not going to chase them. But that is having a profound effect. Like, your lack of chasing them is having a profound effect, energetically speaking, on your divine masculine. So whatever you're doing in that area, continue to keep doing that and strengthening that within yourself, because your divine masculine is noticing and is feeling that, energetically on their side. It's kind of interesting the way that happens with our divine masculine. You're going to definitely see some very big changes happening right now and continuing into the next few months. In the near future, your divine masculine has King of Wands. So again, leadership here, stepping into their power, really starting to feel confident in what and who they are and their abilities. They've only had to make a few small changes inside of themselves about how they see things and how they think about things and their belief systems to see some pretty big changes externally. And they're making that connection and they're starting to feel better at this point. There's some healing that's taking place in your divine masculine. And again, no doubt it's because of the healing that's taking place inside of you, divine feminine, that they are experiencing it as well. In the karmic situation, we have Eight of Wands in reverse and the World in the upright. So your divine masculine is definitely still frustrated with a lot of the karmic stuff that's going on, but they don't feel like change is happening as fast as they would like for it to. However, they also see that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and that they are completing some of their goals, and they can see a little further around the corner than they could, and it's giving them a lot of hope and kind of a deeper feeling of contentment in their life. And that's good, because that's what we want to see with our divine masculine. We want them to feel confident and strong, and we want them to believe in themselves. That's what we really want for our divine masculine. It's the hurt people that hurt people. It's the insecure people that they're not, they feel weak, and so they kind of cling on to others, and they don't make the best decisions. And I'm not judging at all, because we all go through it. There is not a human being on the planet that doesn't. But we all know what it's like when we feel good and confident. Things just flow and things go better. Relationships go better. Jobs go better. we are in a much better state, and so we attract better. And so we want to see these changes, and that's what's going to give your divine masculine the ability to walk away from the harder parts that they have created, and then to create something better and to make better decisions and to be better to be around and more reliable and just solid. So there's some good stuff going on there for your divine masculine. Toward you in the near future, we have the Empress in reverse, and then we have Judgment also in reverse. So these two cards are, to me, a you know how when you're playing like a video game and you have to face the big boss? This is a period of time that you and your divine masculine are going to have to face your own inner darkness, your internal shadows. But it's like all the work that's been being done is going to kind of, it's like, this is kind of a gross analogy, but you know, it's like when well, I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to say instead, it's like a volcano. The pressure builds up. I'm sure you guys know where I was going with that before, but this is a better one. The volcano, the pressure builds up, and then eventually it just kind of like explodes, right? That's what you can kind of look at this point, but there's a huge relief in that part because it lets that pressure off. So it's got to build to a certain point, and then that pressure gets released. But that's when healing takes place. And so there's going to be, our shadows only exist, like if you look at Carl Jung's work, our shadows only exist because we repress parts of ourselves. And this twin flame journey is about not repressing ourselves and stepping into our authenticity and transmuting the darkness into light, which causes us to like step into our full like abilities and powers as a human and as a soul having a human experience. And so we become conscious creators, but we can't be creating consciously from a place of darkness. You know, the universe doesn't give us our full power if we still have dark and unresolved darkness. So to be able to get into that place where you're granted that birthright, your power, you got to integrate the darkness in such a way that you alchemize it, and then you can, you know, use that for higher purpose and higher good, which, you know, this is what every twin flame is moving toward, and this is like the purpose of it is to get beyond this so that you can step into your authenticity, and you and your divine masculine are going to go through this simultaneously at the same time. You have been already, but there's going to be some kind of big thing that's going to take place in both of your lives at the same time. It's going to feel highly chaotic, but it's going to be temporary and probably short term. The work that you guys have been doing, though, is going to make it easy for you to navigate your way through it, because you're going to know. You're just going to know how to handle it. And you're going to move beyond it, and then your lives are going to shift and change, and you and your divine masculine will collapse that polarity between the two of you. And you know, there'll be like this neutral, like no one's going to be running and chasing. There won't be any more of this back and forth push-pull energy. It'll be peaceful and healthy and calming, and both of you will be elevated. And that's the purpose of the journey. So that is kind of a, I guess, foreshadowing of where you might expect to, you know, go. But remember, you are the creator, and you can kind of move slowly or quickly, but it doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to get there because you're meant to. It's already happening. It's in you. And so you kind of just don't need to worry about it, okay? Move when divinely inspired to move, and be still when divinely inspired to be still. Learn the balance and the harmony between action and inaction. See that both sides of the coin are valuable, and then you can, use that currency for your highest good. Okay. I've got this new deck here that I love, and let's see here. Let me get this card for you guys. I didn't show you. This is my Tarot of Opposition deck, and then this is my Mystical Shaman Oracle. So the card that we pulled today is Completion. That's a beautiful card. I really like that a lot. And I'm very curious to see what this card is going to offer us. All right. Completion. Here we go. The essence. All things have a beginning, a middle, and an end. This is the nature of life, the seed, the flower, and the fruit, and all of human relationships. Completion suggests the fullness of the moment and the need to transform an old form into a new one. Wow, you guys, that's what we've been talking about. Letting go of the old so that you can move into the new. And this is like that moment right here that's going to catapult you. Everything's going to shift. These are all little shifts along the way. This is a huge shift for you in Divine Masculine. You have finished a cycle, and there's no more growth or benefit from hanging on to the old. In regard to relationships, it is time to honor what has been and find a new form for the future. In your ventures, it's time for you to reap. It is time to reap your harvest. Completion is a time for celebration. It is the end of summer when the fruit is ripe. The medicine. Clinging to the old form will bring only decay. When fruit is left too long on the vine, it rots. You know that it is time to move on, yet are reluctant. Do not be afraid of hurting anyone's feelings. Remember that you are responsible for your actions, not the actions of others. So you're not responsible for your Divine Masculine's actions. Please, Divine Feminine, remember that. You don't need to be looking at them. You need to be looking at yourself. You can't control your Divine Masculine. But you can know yourself. Okay, and that's where change is going to take place in your life. Mourn what is lost so that you can move on. Do not be sad. Be like the sun at midday who shines brightly, neither longing for sunrise nor dreading dusk. Again, this is what we were talking about right here, that push-pull, right? Neither longing for sunrise nor dreading the dusk. You're not worried about your Divine Masculine, and you're okay with what it is. Okay? You're not worried about it anymore. You're letting go, but you're okay with what it is. So you're not trying to push away your love, and you're not trying to cling on to it either. Okay? You're just letting it be what it is, however it shows up, whatever form it takes, whatever it looks like. That's completion. That is coming full circle in your journey. That's when you step into your power, Divine Feminine. And your Divine Masculine will too. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I love that card. Love it. And I'm probably going to use it on the thumbnail. Or these. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will see you next time. Take care.